Detecting Alzheimer's disease early on. We'll tell you about a new test at 11. A look at the biggest obstacle in the search for answers in the ValueJet crash, the Everglades itself, and our exclusive and revealing interview with Dennis Rodman's ex-wife. Inside Edition is next.
He's the bad boy of basketball, the most controversial player on the court.
If he's supposed to be a role model, this generation's screwed.
And now that Dennis Rodman's life is an open book, his ex-wife wants to add another chapter.
Pushed me, he shoved me, he has given me venereal diseases in the past. I think Dennis is a bit confused about his sexuality.
Today, Anika Rodman on the Bad Boy, Madonna, and the way she says he treats his little girl. 109 lives lost as Flight 592 falls from the sky into one of the most dangerous spots on Earth.
It can grab you and pull you under.
We'll take you to the Everglades to find out how the unforgiving land is threatening the search. Cindy couldn't cut it. Matt didn't make it. And now it's Pamela who's in a box office bomb.
Don't call me babe.
Why do some sex symbols hit the mark on the big screen while others strike out? And OJ's finding out not all Brits are reserved. We'll show you how he did on a British talk show today and how Oxford students are getting ready to take him on.
To Inside Edition, I'm Deborah Norville at the Shed Aquarium in Chicago, where the Bulls lead the playoff series against the New York Knicks 3-1. You don't have to be a basketball fan to know who Dennis Rodman is. He changes hair color about as often as he changes his shorts. Without question, Rodman, who turned 35 today, is the most controversial player in the NBA. And while some of his comments, like playing pro ball in the nude, have raised eyebrows, it is what he said about his personal life that has raised the ire of his ex-wife. She spoke exclusively with our Janet Tamaro and paints a picture that Rodman might not want his fans to see.
He's basketball's bad boy, the rebel of the NBA. Wherever Dennis Rodman goes, intrigue and controversy seem to follow.
I'm the baddest, craziest son of a bitch in this building.
And with fame, fortune, and hoop dreams achieved, these days, nobody can say a bad word about the Bulls' colorful number 91, except for someone who says she knows the real Dennis Rodman.
I want somebody to hear my side, to hear the truth about this guy. If he's supposed to be a role model, this generation's screwed.
Anika Rodman was his lover and wife, and she's the mother of his 7-year-old daughter, Alexis, who's following in her famous father's footsteps. In his public appearances, to warm up his bad boy image, Rodman frequently mentions his loving relationship with daughter Alexis. He's even broken into tears at the mere mention of her name. But is he the doting dad he says he is?
If he's going to go in front of the camera and make an idiot of himself, don't bring my daughter into it.
But he has. In his new autobiography, Rodman talks about his love for Alexis and his hope that he'll always be able to take care of her. He writes his high salary, quote, isn't about greed for me. I want to be paid so my daughter Alexis is taken care of for the rest of her life. His role as a devoted father is a sensitive subject around the Sacramento, California home where Anika is raising Alexis. In an interview with Inside Edition, Anika claims it's all an act.
I've been hearing this for so many years, how much he claims he adores his little girl. And I think down deep inside there, he does love his daughter, but I think that if you love your daughter, you would do anything possible to keep that family together.
Rodman moved away when Alexis was 4. According to Anika, he's been an absentee father who rarely calls and only occasionally visits when his team, the Bulls, are in town for a game.
Your mom says sometimes he'll call and you don't want to talk to him. Is that because you feel mad at him? And the phone call is not the same as seeing him in person.
For Alexis, who calls Rodman by his first name, Dennis is the man who never remembers her birthdays and never seems to make it to her basketball games.
I asked him to come to the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, and 10th, but he still didn't come.
The day of her Holy Communion ceremony, Rodman attended a Chicago signing for his new book.
Don't claim you're just this wonderful father. If anything, don't say anything at all about your daughter in California.
You should change his hair color.
But these days, Rodman's life is like an open book, and Bad As I Wanna Be is already a bestseller. In it, he blames his ex-wife for getting in the way of his relationship with Alexis.
There is nobody getting between him and seeing his daughter. He's the only one stopping himself. He can't be bothered right now.
It's a very different Dennis Rodman than the sensitive man Anika remembers meeting in a Sacramento nightclub in 1986. He'd just been drafted by the Detroit Pistons. She was a fashion model.
He was very innocent. He had no idea really what was out there for him. And I fell in love with that.
3 years into their relationship, Alexis was born. Despite all outward appearances, Anika says life with the NBA star was anything but glamorous, particularly the day of their 1991 marriage.
And we went in our sweatpants, and we went and got married. And then on our way home, we stopped off at McDonald's. And then we went to the gym and worked out.
The marriage was over after just 82 days.
It was brief because I left him. And it was because I thought that when we took our vows, I thought that the cheating was going to stop.
She says it didn't. And while Rodman's made no secret of his womanizing, he claims Anika was also having affairs during their marriage, which she denies. In court papers filed during their divorce, Anika countercharged that during their years together, Dennis was abusive, both physically and mentally.
Pushed me, he shoved me, he has given me venereal diseases in the past.
Rodman denies the charges. Divorced in 1993, Anika was awarded custody of Alexis. Rodman, who earns $2.5 million a year, has visitation. But Anika says he didn't pay his $9,000 a month in child support until she got a court order to have his wages garnished. And that's not all. Anika says her ex-husband flaunted his sensational 6-month love affair with Madonna by sending her autographed pictures from the musical Superstar.
That hurts. It's like, how can I compare against Madonna? I mean, she's a star.
I'm a total different person than I was 5 years ago. I really found myself as a person, as a human being.
If Dennis found himself, he's put it to good use in his outrageous antics on and off the court. Anika believes it's because of Madonna's influence.
She knows how to market herself, and I think he started thinking, wow, look at what she can do.
And with that attention has come speculation about Rodman's sexuality. On dressing in drag and hanging out in gay bars, he writes, "Mentally, I probably am bisexual." He says he enjoys keeping the public guessing. Anika has been guessing for some time.
I think Dennis is a bit confused about his sexuality. I really do.
One thing Rodman isn't confused about is his power to reach the public. But Anika says she has a message for the rising star.
He's caused enough damage while we were married, after it, the affairs, Madonna. He can't hurt me anymore. Can't. Don't hurt my baby.
Through his manager, Dennis Rodman turned down our request for an interview. She gave us a terse no comment on anything Annie had to say. The Dennis Rodman story is becoming something of a family feud. Tomorrow, another Inside Edition exclusive. Dennis Rodman's mother comes to her son's defense and has more than just a little to say about his ex-wife's comments.
I'm very proud of Dennis for the achievements that he's done, but I'm not so proud that I want to be out there hanging on the edge with him. Just because he does foolish things don't mean I have to do that. But everything he does is not always foolish. It's just that they blow it. They take it and they run with it, and it just gets out of whack.
The full interview will be right here tomorrow. While investigators try to determine why ValueJet 592 crashed just outside Miami, searchers are still trying to recover pieces of the aircraft and the remains of the 109 presumed dead. As Katrina Daniel reports, Their efforts are hampered by the dangerous and difficult conditions of the Florida Everglades.
The Florida Everglades cover 5 million watery acres. It is one of the most beautiful and most dangerous places on Earth. Victor Billy, a Seminole Indian, is an airboat guide.
It can grab you and pull you under.
And now the Everglades has swallowed an entire jet plane. Somewhere down here, in the muck and mire, is a DC-9 with 109 people aboard.
Given the environment out in the swamp there, with the mud and the water particularly in the combination, it is very, very tough to figure out how we're going to get the aircraft out.
When Flight 592 crashed nose first here on Saturday, it was only 12 miles away from the airport, but inaccessible to any rescue effort. And rescuers are now calling it the most difficult scene they've ever encountered. The Everglades is literally a river of grass. Some of it is sawgrass that cuts through skin like a knife. And that's not the only danger.
You got gators, snake, and the mosquitoes, horseflies.
This is a wild place where Mother Nature calls the shots. Though threatened by development, just one example of the Everglades' incredible diversity is the 4 kinds of poisonous snakes, whose venom can cause a painful death within minutes.
The Everglades are a very remote ecosystem relative to our standards. They're way out there in the middle of a sawgrass marsh. And it's not a hospitable environment for us humans.
This should give you a really good idea of the conditions that recovery workers are facing. The water in which the airplane went down is about 3 feet or so deep, but the muck and mud underneath could be as deep as 30 feet. John Swait offered his airboat to the effort, just as he did 25 years ago, when an Eastern Airlines L-1011 crashed just a few miles from here, killing 101 people.
With that crash, you had a lot of debris all over the place. This crash, you don't have it.
Officials say there are no survivors from this crash, and it is still unclear if the plane disintegrated on impact or if it just plunged into the mud.
You cannot see the total fuselage. You cannot see it at all.
Victims' families are waiting for their bodies to be recovered.
Couldn't believe it, but it was true. I just couldn't believe it.
And as unbearable as the waiting is, the Everglades have thrown in another terrible twist. Rescuers report that the aviation fuel spilled in the crash at first drove off the alligators, but now that fuel is dissipating, and with its disappearance, the alligators are returning. Sharpshooters have been brought in to protect recovery workers.
At the time of the impact, it might have scared a lot of things away from the area, but they will come back.
Searchers have now found some remains. Meantime, officials have announced an intensive safety review of ValueJet, and President Clinton says he wants a report this week on what measures can be implemented to protect the public.
Still to come, Pamela Lee's first major foray into film has been a flop. What does it take for a bombshell to overcome a bomb? And next, O.J. Simpson gives another interview today, this time on British TV.
Everybody knows what a night was in the envelope. It was in the envelope that the police, once they knew it was in the envelope, you notice they never mentioned the night ever again.
It took sparks of imagination, technology, and engineering to build the car that would best the Honda Accord. The result? Chrysler Steerin. With more horsepower, more standard features like air and ABS, and more passenger and cargo space. When you set a new standard, you expect a reaction. And at this price, we're sure to get one.
What if you were born with all the answers? From day one, you knew it all. What a boring life you'd have. How would you learn? How would you grow? Life is a search for answers. Because no matter how old you are or how much you study, you'll always have a question. And there'll always be someone to answer it.
The impact of a car crash can be powerful, especially when it's used as a learning tool.
You okay? You guys can help out now.
So to get students involved in the Nationwide Insurance Prom Promise, Nationwide agents help stage events like this one to help students remain drug and alcohol free, especially on prom night. Sometimes the best way to avoid a crash is to be in one.
You like your car, but it may not look so great. Time for the better get Mako guys.
Right now, Mako value is better than ever. Get our great-looking Mako Ambassador finish for one low price, our best value. Right now, only $189.
Mako, America's smart choice.
Tonight, Angelica Houston, Paul Hogan, and Natalie Merchant when Dave returns from San Francisco.
Hi, I'm Dave Letterman, the only man ever to escape the Rock.
Right after Channel 3 Eyewitness News Night Beat.
O.J. Simpson seems to have given up for now on salvaging his image in America, so today he's in England for a series of appearances aimed at getting his side of the story before the public. But as Joel Loy reports, not everyone's convinced O.J.'s efforts will bring the results that he wants.
Everybody knows what the night was in the envelope.
The O.J. media storm hit the UK like the Blitz. Today, O.J. appeared on a new show called Tonight. England's Granada Television shelled out $26,000 in travel expenses to bring Simpson over for an appearance and a trip to Oxford. And he did not arrive quietly. When Simpson touched down at Heathrow Airport on Saturday, police were unprepared as the waiting crowd got out of hand, and some couldn't help but express their feelings.
Hey, killer!
You ugly bird! You...
America doesn't want to talk to him. I don't see why Britain's most venerable university should.
Adam Bolton, a well-known political commentator on British television, feels that while O.J. can run from American scrutiny, he can't hide from public opinion.
He is desperate for publicity. He can't get in America. Doesn't speak any foreign languages, so English is the next audience. I suppose he'll be en route to Australia, probably.
While in England, O.J. is living large. His hotel, the posh Hyde Park, Kensington, is just a stone's throw away from Princess Di's digs. Max Clifford is the mastermind behind O.J.'s visit.
I believe that what he's going through at the hands of the American media is totally wrong. So if I can just play a tiny part in helping to straighten this situation out, I'm happy to.
Clifford is well known for handling some of England's most notorious figures, but O.J. won't be his first American client. He introduced the Brits to Divine Brown.
I suppose you would say that 10% of my career over the last 30-odd years has been about exposing people that I believed should be exposed.
Sorry it's so sloppy here.
On Sunday morning, O.J. indulged in two of his favorite pastimes, greeting fans.
So which way is this going?
And playing golf.
Well, I think I cut it a little too much, didn't I?
But will O.J. be able to cut it during his scheduled appearances? On Tuesday, he's off to Oxford University. Oxford is one of the oldest universities in the world, and the Oxford Union Society is one of the oldest debating societies. Over the years, they've hosted celebrities ranging from Henry Kissinger to Kermit the Frog. Union President Paul Kenward, an Oxford student, has his question ready.
What have you done? What steps have you taken to find the killers of your wife?
There have been reports of students planning to protest the event, but Kenward feels Simpson should be given the chance to speak.
He's been through a jury process and been found not guilty, but the fact that he speaks at the Oxford Union doesn't make him any more or less not guilty.
Many feel that Simpson's foray to the UK is just another attempt to resurrect his image, but it just might backfire in his civil suit, according to Los Angeles attorney Royal Oakes.
By talking about the case, O.J. Simpson gives information to the other side in the civil case. They're jotting down every single syllable.
And there have been reports of death threats, but Granada television officials say that's news to them. As for Simpson, he says he's thinking about going on the offensive in court.
You know, once again, I got to get through this. A whole lot of people are going to be sued when I finish with this.
There may be lots more O.J. in store for the British viewing public. He has reportedly been talking to the BBC about doing a one-on-one interview. Their last high-profile interview was with Princess Diana.
Coming up, Pamela Lee's new movie has been a bust at the box office.
Don't move!
And next, we'll look at the long line of sex symbols who have hit and missed on the big screen. Dennis Rodman's ex-wife made some stunning accusations. Now Dennis's mom defends her son.
She's the ex-wife. That's the issue.
Tomorrow on Inside Edition.
on the next American Journal. What makes you happy? Is it money?
Lots of money. Money, 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 money.
A good marriage?
Good sex would make me happy.
Watch AJ's special series and learn how to be a happier person. Plus, the MTV girls of the 80s, the sexy dancers who appeared in your favorite music videos. Who were these budding young actresses? Find out what they're doing now.
I'm Nancy Glass. That's on the next American Journal.
Weeknights at 7:30, right here on Channel 3.
Why does the Home Depot carry so much stuff?
Everybody has different tastes, different styles.
I don't like this one, but I like that one. We got all kinds of stuff in the Home Depot. We have everything for everybody.
Hundreds of carpets.
2x4s, we have them all over the place.
Hundreds of drills.
We have every style.
Anything that your little heart desires.
The Home Depot, where low prices are just the beginning. Why pay more for insured fade and stain resistance when you can use Dutch Boy paints? They're at the guaranteed low price every day at the Home Depot.
Ever since the layoffs, the pressure wouldn't stop. I couldn't eat or sleep. My job was a nightmare. Then a friend at work suggested he see a psychologist. At first he said no way, but finally...
He called. He saw me for a while, and we talked about ways to manage stress. He responded really well.
I feel better, and I'm doing better at work. My psychologist smiles when I tell her she saved my life. I know for sure she saved my job.
Psychology. Talk to someone who can help.
It's been 25 years since I gave you that first diamond. Funny how the heart works. How it remembers all the laughter and filters out the tears. That day I said I'd love you forever, and every day since I have.
The 25th anniversary diamond. Show her the honeymoon never ended.
To the Johnny-come-lately dressings getting pushy with salads. Sorry. Dull and heavy just don't cut it. A salad longs for excitement, hungers for craft, always with taste that thrill, like Kraft Peppercorn Ranch. A swift kick of peppercorns blended with a creamy ranch. Who else but Kraft could create this exciting peppercorn ranch? Salads love Kraft.
Hollywood producers may be thinking twice about casting TV stars in their next movie. Among the stars who've recently flopped on the big screen are Paul Reiser, Ellen DeGeneres, David Schwimmer, and Kelsey Grammer. Now, as Scott Rappaport tells us, you can add Pamela Lee's name to the list.
Pamela Anderson Lee had hoped that as a leather-clad heroine in Barbed Wire, she could leave the Baywatch Beach for a career in the movies. But those plans may have just sunk.
I think you have to subpoena people to see Barbed Wire. Nobody's going to see it.
Don't call me baby.
She has as much screen presence as this lamppost.
To top it off, retailers aren't exactly clearing Lion King shelf space to stock Barbed Wire merchandise.
A lot of the sales were very brisk in the beginning, but then when the movie came out and it started to tank, so did the sales.
So who besides hubby Tommy Lee should the very pregnant Pam turn to for support? Well, maybe some of the other sex symbols who have been in her shoes. Or should we say thigh-high boots? Tanya Roberts was doing okay as one of Charlie's Angels, but critics had a field day when she put on an animal skin bikini in Sheena, Queen of the Jungle.
Sheena is one of the most unintentionally hilarious movies of the 80s.
And plenty of models have proved beauty isn't enough to guarantee box office success. Paulina Poroskova was sent back to the runways after starring in the forgotten Tom Selleck bomb, Her Alibi. And poor Cindy Crawford. Her acting ability was fair game after her big movie debut.
One attempt on my life a day is more than enough.
And it's no easier for male sex symbols. Hunky Tim Daly from the hit sitcom Wings failed to take flight recently in Dr. Jekyll and Ms. Hyde. And Friends heartthrob Matt LeBlanc recently struck out with Ed. There are some exceptions. Clint Eastwood and John Travolta were both TV heartthrobs before becoming movie stars. And Gina Davis and Andie MacDowell were both originally successful models. So what's the secret?
Take on some challenging roles. Do some stage work if you can, free from all the hype. Go to an acting teacher.
Are you listening, Pamela?
Pamela Lee was reportedly set to play Mae West in a feature film, but the barbed wire bombing may have dashed that deal. Coming up, Dennis Rodman's mom lashes out some more at her former daughter-in-law.
coffee house is a place where the coffee stirs the conversation, where a quiet moment fuels great thoughts, and the steamiest moments are found in a cup. Now you can make that coffee house your house. Introducing Italian Espresso Roast from Maxwell House. Brew it in your regular coffee maker for a taste that's deep, intense, not bitter. It's the first espresso roast that's good to the last drop.
Announcing a powerful breakthrough of incredible proportions. Incredibly small proportions. New Actron, a powerful pain reliever with ketoprofen, finally available without a prescription. Actron is so powerful, just 12.5 milligrams are as effective as 200 milligrams of Advil or 650 milligrams of Tylenol for headaches and body pain. New Actron, the pain reliever that's so small because it's so powerful.
Dinner!
If bugs can't sting you, bugs can't bite you. Cutter makes you invisible to bugs.
Love new Easy Squeeze Country Crock.
I can see that.
Thick and creamy.
So thick they turned it upside down.
Yeah.
So it's easier to use and squeeze.
Easy to squeeze, like me.
New Easy Squeeze Country Crock. So thick, we had to make it easier to use and squeeze.
Announcing the great 2.9 event featuring 2.9% APR financing for 48 months on the best-selling Ford Taurus. Or lease the 96 Taurus for just $199 a month. $199 a month is the lowest lease payment ever on Taurus. The great 2.9 event. Hurry to your New England Ford dealer today because an event this important may not happen again until, who knows, maybe 2001.
Tonight on Eyewitness News Night Beat.
A speeding train, a car stalled on the tracks, and you're stuck inside. See this nightmare unfold from 10 different angles. It's startling video that will move your TV set. Tonight on the Night Beat, see the grisly scene in a dramatic demonstration with you at the point of impact. You'll think twice about crossing the tracks after this report.
Join Denise DeCinso, Al Tersey, Hilton Catterley, and Harvey Smilovitz tonight on the Night Beat.
Tomorrow, another Inside Edition exclusive. Dennis Rodman's mom tells all.
Dennis Rodman's ex-wife's interview set off a family feud. Now Dennis's mom is defending her boy.
She's the ex-wife. That's the issue. She wants to be in the limelight.
And mom reveals shocking phone messages from the ex.
You're never going to see your granddaughter ever again.
Plus, we told you the bizarre story of a husband's surprise.
Police called me and said, your wife's a man.
Now this story has a new twist.
That and lots more when you join us tomorrow, and that's Inside Edition for today. I'm Deborah Norville reporting from Chicago. We'll see you tomorrow from New York.